APMEX is the proud sponsor of the Silverpicker YouTube channel, and Whatnot is the proud sponsor of today's video. Thank you both for your support. Do you have any of these coins sitting in a drawer somewhere? I mean, you probably saved at least one or two as a kid, right? Well, if you've got one, you definitely want to watch the rest of this video because your little tiny Susan B. Anthony dollar could be worth a heck of a lot more than a buck. Hello everybody, Silverpicker here, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you how to identify which Susan B. Anthony dollars are worth the big bucks and which ones are better off being brought back to the bank. But first, a little bit about the coin itself. The Susan B. Anthony dollar, or SBA dollar as we call it in the biz, replaced the large-size Eisenhower dollar, and it depicts the famous suffragette on the obverse and depicts a scene of the moon landing, the exact same design as on the Eisenhower dollar, because Susan B. Anthony had something to do with the Apollo missions? That choice is as perplexing today as it was back then when it was first made. But anyway, I digress. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was minted between 1979 and 1981, and then again for 1 year in 1999. What's really remarkable about this coin is it's actually the first time in US history that a real woman was depicted on a US coin. Sorry, Lady Liberty, but you don't count. The government had high hopes for the coin, but due to the fact that it was about the same size and color as a quarter, people confused them frequently, and the public was not happy with this coin. Eventually, however, the coins did find a home in postage stamp and subway token vending machines, where people would still use them even though they hated the coins because, well, they wanted to write letters and get places, so they would proceed to use these machines, receive the Susan B. Anthony dollars as change, and then proceed to bring them home, giving them to their kids with the advice, hold on to these because they'll be worth something someday. So is it someday yet, and are they worth something? Well, yes and no. Most SBA coins that you have are worth just the $1 face value that's printed on them, and that's the reality. However, there are two factors that can greatly increase the value of these coins, and that is condition and rarity. Condition is obvious, right? Obviously, a pristine mint coin will be worth more than a coin that looks like, well, this. Rarity is a bit more nuanced here, though, because while most coins have what are called key dates, or the most valuable rare dates that you can find in the set, the Susan B. Anthony series doesn't really have any, as there were only 4 years where the coins were minted. Instead, they have what are called rare varieties. Varieties are the subtle differences found across a given type of coin that result from the manufacturing process, or minting process, using different dies to stamp the coins. The ones you want to look out for are the 1979S wide rim variety, the 1979S proof Type 2 clear S variety, and the 1981S proof Type 2 flat S variety. I'll explain how to identify these different varieties and what they're worth in a minute, and then at the end of the video I'll show you some more unusual SBA varieties that are worth a tremendous amount of money and have sold for huge sums at auction. But first, I want to take a minute to give you an update about my next Whatnot auction. For those of you who don't know, Whatnot is an incredible online live auction platform in which buyers and sellers can interact in real time, and you can buy all sorts of different types of collectibles. A few weeks ago, I did my first live Whatnot auction, and I sold off a nice chunk of my personal collection, and it was really cool. People got amazing deals, and I gave away over $250 worth of free coins, currency, and other stuff. And I'm planning on doing another auction in September. Final dates to be announced. I'm going to be selling numismatic coins, I'm going to be selling silver bullion, I'm going to be selling gold, currency, all sorts of cool stuff, and I'm going to be giving away another $250 worth of free numismatic prizes. It is going to be awesome, and you don't want to miss it. And while on the subject of free, if you want to have $10 in Whatnot credit for free, use my link to sign up for a free account in the description below. That's whatnot.com/invite/silverpicker. And not only do you get $10 to spend on anything you want on the Whatnot platform, but I also get $10, and that is a win-win. So definitely check it out, and you don't want to miss my next auction. So how do you actually identify these 3 different varieties of Susan B. Anthony dollars? Well, you're most likely to find the 1979S wide rim in circulation because the other 2 are proof coins, which means they were made specifically for collectors and were never intended for circulation. However, if Granny or Gramps ever bought you something like this, you still might have one of those 79S proofs or 1981S proofs sitting in your drawer. So let's start off with the 2 proof coins, and then we'll circle back to the 79S wide rim. So the 1979S proof Type 2 with the clear S mint mark looks something like this. That was certainly a mouthful, so I'm going to break down what each part of those terms mean. So 1979, of course, is the year that the coin was minted, and S is the mint mark indicating that it was minted or produced in the San Francisco Mint. Proof, as we mentioned, means that the coin was produced specifically for collectors using highly polished dies, giving the coin a mirror-like finish like this. But here's the important part. Only Type 2 coins with what's called the clear S mint mark are worth the big bucks. This is a Type 1 with what's called a filled S, and this is more of an ordinary coin. The one you want to look for is the clear S that looks like this. And what does such a coin sell for? Well, this example sold at Heritage Auctions for $1,955. Granted, it's graded a proof 70, which means it is a perfect pristine coin, but that's still a 1,955x return on your investment. Thanks, Granny. The 1981 S proof Type 2 with the flat S is very similar to the previous example, but even more rare. And in this case, instead of a clear S mint mark, it has a flat S mint mark that looks like this. And if you thought the last one sold for a lot of money, this 1981 S proof Type 2 with the flat S sold for a whopping $5,500 at auction. And even if you don't have one that's in absolute perfect proof 70 condition, you'll still be able to sell it for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. So those are the two proof coins, but let's go back to that one that you might have gotten out of one of those postage stamp machines way back when that's sitting in your coin jar just waiting for you to watch this video. And of course, if you're enjoying this video, I make videos like this all the time, so you best hit that big ol' red subscribe button. And while you're down there, do me the ultimate YouTube solid and smash that like button. It takes you just a second and it means the world to me. But now, the 1979 S wide rim variety. Now, if you thought that the clear S and the flat S varieties were a little bit subtle, well, you ain't seen nothing yet, because the subtlety in this variety depends on how wide or narrow the rim around the coin is. I know, us coin collectors are an odd bunch. Most of the 1979 S SBA coins were minted with the narrow rim, making the wide rim the one to look out for. And the easiest way to tell which one's the wide rim versus which one's the narrow rim is to see how close or how far the rim is away from the date on the coin. If you look at a narrow rim variety and a wide rim variety side by side, you can see that the date almost touches the rim on the wide rim variety and is actually pretty far away from the rim on the narrow rim variety. And check it out, a mint state 67 plus 1979 S wide rim variety sold at Heritage Auctions for a whopping $6,500. Absolutely wild. And this is honestly something you could reasonably expect to find in circulation, though of course the condition will dictate whether or not you're getting that top dollar in the thousands or whether it's just a couple $100. But still, a couple $100 ain't bad for a $1 coin. Now, earlier in the video, I promised that I would show you a couple of really unusual SBA coins that sold for tremendous amounts of money at auction. So I'm going to show you two different coins right now that will absolutely blow your mind. I mentioned earlier in the video that the SBA dollar replaced the Eisenhower dollar. But what replaced the SBA dollar? Well, the Sacagawea dollar, of course. During that transition year between 1999 and 2000, there were a couple of the first Sacagawea dollars that were minted on coin blanks from the SBA dollars. That means that you have the design of a Sacagawea dollar minted on that silver-colored coin blank from the SBA dollar. This particular example sold for an absurd $12,075. But it gets even better. The opposite has occurred as well, in which an SBA dollar was minted on a Sacagawea planchet. And this example sold for an incredible, wait for it, $16,100. There are, of course, lots of other Susan B. Anthony error coins out there, but that is a topic for a different video. Now, if you are lucky enough to have one of these rare Susan B. Anthony varieties sitting at the bottom of your underwear drawer, well, what do you do with it? Well, you're already ahead of the curve because you have me as a resource. You can send me a description and a picture of your coin to my email address, thesilverpicker@gmail.com, or you can DM me on Instagram @thesilverpicker, and you should probably be following me there anyway, and I'll respond to you, and if the coin is indeed valuable, I'll help you come up with the best strategy to sell your coin and maximize your profits. That said, in short, I can tell you that it is definitely worthwhile to get your coin authenticated and graded by a company like PCGS or NGC before you sell it if you do indeed have one of these rare varieties. Anyway, that's about it for today, but there is still a ton to learn about Susan B. Anthony dollars, so keep educating yourself, keep learning, and if you want to learn about other coins and currency that are worth a ton of money that could be hiding in your wallet right now, check out the videos that I did in the playlist linked in the description box below. And I make videos like this all the time, so hit the subscribe button and come back for more, because I got a lot more awesome stuff coming down the pike, so stay tuned, and until then, Silver Picker out. A huge thank you to all of my wonderful patrons. You guys are amazing. If you are not yet a patron but would like to support my channel, the links are below, and I can't wait to meet you personally in our private, patron-only Discord server.